Emma Martinez wiped the sweat from her face as she climbed the rocky path up Cedar Mountain. The morning sun was getting hot, and her backpack felt heavier with each step. She had been walking for 2 hours now, looking for the special plants that Dr. Williams needed for the animal clinic. These mountain herbs were hard to find, but they worked better than most medicines when animals got sick. Emma loved her job at the Cedar Falls Animal Clinic. She was only 22 years old, but she had been working there for 3 years. She knew how to help sick dogs, cats, and even wild animals that people brought in. Her gentle hands and kind heart made even the most scared animals feel safe. Path became steeper as she climbed higher. Emma stopped to catch her breath and looked around. The forest was quiet, except for the sound of birds singing in the trees. She pulled out her water bottle and took a long drink. The air was thin up here, but it smelled clean and fresh. Emma heard a strange sound coming from ahead. It sounded like something big was breathing hard and fast. She walked carefully toward the noise, pushing branches out of her way. The sound got louder as she got closer. It was not a sound she had ever heard before. She came to a place where the mountain had fallen down. Big rocks were everywhere. A landslide had happened here not long ago. The trees were broken, and dirt was still loose on the ground. Emma could see where the rocks had rolled down from high above. The breathing sound was coming from under a pile of rocks. Emma moved closer and saw something that made her heart race. There was a huge creature trapped under the stones. At first, she thought it was a giant lizard, but she had never seen anything like it. The creature was about 15 feet long. Its skin was covered in scales that seemed to change color in the sunlight. They looked blue, then green, then silver. As the light moved across them, the creature's head was bigger than a horse's head, with large closed eyes and sharp teeth that showed when it breathed. Emma's first thought was to run away. This thing was huge and could be dangerous. But then she saw that it was hurt badly. One of its legs was bent the wrong way, and blood was coming from cuts on its side. The creature was breathing fast and shallow, like it was in great pain. Emma could not just leave it here to die. She had spent her whole life helping hurt animals. It did not matter how big or scary this one was. She set down her backpack and looked at the rocks that were trapping the creature. Some of the rocks were small enough for her to move. She started lifting them one by one and throwing them aside. The work was hard, and soon her hands were cut and bleeding. But she kept going. The creature did not move as she worked. Its breathing was getting weaker. After an hour of hard work, Emma had moved enough rocks to free the creature's body. She could see now that it had 4 legs and what looked like folded wings on its back. The wings were torn and had holes in them. This was no lizard. Emma did not know what it was, but she knew it needed help. She opened her backpack and took out her first aid kit. She always carried one when she went hiking. Emma had learned how to treat hurt animals from Dr. Williams, and she used those same skills now. She cleaned the cuts with water and put bandages on the worst ones. The creature's leg was broken. Emma found 2 straight sticks and used them to make a splint. She wrapped the leg carefully with cloth from her kit. The creature did not fight her or try to bite. It seemed to know she was trying to help. Emma gave the creature water by pouring it slowly into its mouth. The creature drank a little, but seemed very weak. Its eyes were still closed, and Emma worried it might be dying. She did not know what else to do, so she sat down next to the creature and waited. The sun was going down now. Emma was tired, hungry, and scared. She had not told anyone where she was going, and no one would look for her until tomorrow. But she could not leave the hurt creature alone. She decided to stay with it through the night. Emma made a small fire using dry wood and matches. From her backpack, the light and warmth felt good in the cool mountain air. She sat next to the creature and talked to it softly. She told it about her job at the clinic and about the animals she had helped. "I don't know what you are," Emma said quietly, "but I know you're hurt and scared. I'm going to stay with you tonight. You don't have to be alone." As the night went on, something strange happened. The creature's breathing became stronger and more steady. Its scales began to glow with a soft light, like they had tiny stars inside them. Emma had never seen anything like it. The creature opened its eyes. They were large and golden, like the sun. But there was something else in those eyes that made Emma catch her breath. They looked smart. Not like animal eyes, but like human eyes. Like the creature was thinking and understanding got Emma, looked into those golden eyes, and felt something in her mind. Not words, but feelings and ideas. The creature was trying to talk to her, but not with its voice. It was talking inside her head. "Thank you," the voice in her mind said. It was deep and old, like the voice of someone who had lived for a very long time. "Thank you for your kindness." Emma's mouth fell open. She could not believe what was happening. The creature was talking to her with its thoughts. "You can understand me?" Emma asked out loud. Double quotes, "Yes, young one. I can speak to your mind, and you can speak to mine. My name is Zephyr. I have been waiting for someone like you for a very long time." "Someone like me?" "Someone with a kind heart. Someone who would help a stranger without asking for anything back. Someone who would stay with a hurt creature through the dark night." Emma felt tears in her eyes. She did not understand what was happening, but she knew it was important. This creature, Zephyr, was not just an animal. He was something special. "What are you?" Emma asked. "I am what your people call a dragon. I am very old, and I have been hiding on your world for many years. You saved my life tonight, Emma Martinez. And because of your kindness, everything is about to change." Emma stared at Zephyr in wonder. A dragon. A real dragon. She had thought they were just stories, but here was one right in front of her. And somehow, her simple act of helping a hurt creature had started something that would change her life forever. As the fire burned low and the stars came out above them, Emma sat with Zephyr and listened to his story. She did not know it yet, but her kindness to this old dragon would soon bring 12 of the most powerful spaceships in the galaxy to her doorstep. Emma could not sleep that night. She sat by the fire and listened as Zephyr told her his story. The dragon's voice in her mind was gentle, but filled with sadness. "I was not always this small," Zephyr said. "Let me show you my true form." The air around Zephyr began to shimmer like heat waves. Emma watched in amazement as the dragon's body grew larger and larger. His scales spread out like a blanket of stars. His wings unfolded until they were wider than a house. His neck stretched up tall, and his head reached high above the trees. Emma looked up at the magnificent creature before her. Zephyr was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. His scales caught the firelight and threw it back in 1,000 colors. His golden eyes were now as big as dinner plates, but they were still kind and wise. "This is who I really am," Zephyr said. "I am a dragon of the Andromeda system. My people have been flying between the stars for millions of years." Emma's mind was spinning. "You're from another galaxy?" "Yes, my home world was called Draconis. It was a beautiful place with crystal mountains and silver seas. My people lived there in peace for ages beyond counting. We were the guardians of our part of the galaxy. We protected younger races from dangers they could not handle alone." Zephyr's great head lowered until his eyes were level with Emma's. "But 300 years ago, something terrible happened. A race of machines called the Void Collective came to our galaxy. They were not alive like us. They were built by some long-dead race to destroy all life wherever they found it. What happened to your people? Emma asked softly. The Void Collective. Attacked without warning. Their ships were like nothing we had ever seen. They could not be talked to or reasoned with. They only wanted to destroy. Most of my people fought bravely, but we were not prepared for such an enemy. Zephyr's voice grew heavy with grief. Draconis fell. Our beautiful world was turned into dust and metal. Most of my people died fighting to protect the younger races in our care. Only 12 of us escaped. We scattered across the galaxy, each, going to a different place to hide. Emma felt tears running down her face. So you came to Earth? I came to your world because it was far from the fighting. Your people were still young and had not yet traveled to the stars. I thought I could. Hide here and wait for the Void Collective to forget about the few dragons who had escaped. But you've been here for 300 years, Emma said. Haven't you been lonely? Very lonely, Zephyr admitted. I have watched your people grow and change. I have seen your wars and your peace. I have watched you build great cities and reach for the stars, but I have been afraid to contact you. I thought the last thing your young race needed was to be pulled into a war with the Void Collective. Emma stood up and walked closer to the giant dragon. But you're not hiding anymore. You're showing yourself to me. Because you showed me something I had forgotten, Zephyr said. When you stayed with me through the night, when you helped me. Even though you were afraid, you reminded me of why my people fought the Void Collective in the first place. What do you mean? My people were guardians. We protected others not because we had to, but because we chose to. We believed that kindness and courage were the most important things in the universe. I thought those days were over. I thought I was too old and too tired to fight anymore. Zephyr's scales began to glow brighter. But you are young, Emma Martinez. Your people are young. And yet you already understand what it took my people millions of years to learn. You helped a stranger without asking for anything in return. You showed courage when you were afraid. You showed me that the spirit of the Guardians is not dead. What are you going to do? Emma asked. I am going to call my brothers and sisters, the 11 other dragons who escaped the fall of Draconis. I have not spoken to them in 200 years. But it is time for us to stop hiding. Emma's heart was racing. Are you sure? What if the Void Collective finds you? Then we will fight them. But this time, we will not fight alone. I have been watching your people, Emma. Humans are remarkable. You are brave and clever. You care for each other and for other species. You have something that the Void Collective can never understand. What's that? Hope, love, the willingness to help others even when it costs you something. These are the things that make life worth protecting. And these are the things that can defeat the Void Collective. Zephyr stood up to his full height. His wings spread wide, and Emma could see the stars through the thin skin between the wing bones. I am going to offer your people something that has never been offered to any race so young. What? An alliance. Partnership with the dragons. Access to knowledge and technology that your people will not discover on their own for thousands of years. But most importantly, friendship with others who share your values. Emma felt scared and excited at the same time. What would humans have? To do what you did tonight. Show kindness to strangers. Help those who cannot help themselves. Stand up to bullies and tyrants. Be the guardians that my people once were. Do you think humans are ready for that? I think humans are the most. Ready of any race I have ever met. You have wars, yes. You have problems, yes. But you also have people like you, Emma. People who will sit all night with a hurt stranger just to make sure they are not alone. Zephyr began to fold his wings and shrink back to his smaller size. But first, I must heal completely. And I must prepare for the arrival of my brothers and sisters. They will want to meet you, Emma. They will want to see the human who reminded an old dragon of his purpose. Emma sat down heavily on a rock. Her mind was full of questions and fears and excitement. What happens to me? I'm just a veterinarian assistant from a small town. I don't know anything about dragons or space or aliens. You know the most important thing, Zephyr said gently. You know how to be kind. Everything else can be learned. The dragon curled up next to the dying fire. His scales dimmed to a soft glow. Sleep now, Emma. Tomorrow, everything changes. Not just for you, but for all of humanity. Emma lay down on the ground and used her backpack as a pillow. She looked up at the stars and wondered which ones were home to dragons. She thought about her quiet life in Cedar Falls and how different it was about to become. Zephyr? She said. Softly, double quotes, yes? Thank you for trusting me, for telling me the truth. Thank you for showing me that kindness still exists in the universe. Now sleep. Tomorrow, we begin to call the other dragons home. Emma closed her eyes and tried to sleep. Above her, the stars seemed to twinkle a little brighter, as if they knew that something important was about to happen. And in her dreams, she saw great ships sailing between the stars, carrying dragons and humans together toward a future full of hope and adventure. She did not know it yet, but by sunrise, Zephyr would send a signal across the galaxy that would bring 11 of the most powerful ships in the universe to Earth. And Emma Martinez, the small-town veterinarian assistant who had shown kindness to a hurt stranger, would become the most important human in the history of her species. Emma woke up when the sun was just starting to rise. For a moment, she thought she had dreamed everything. Then she saw Zephyr sleeping nearby, his scales glowing softly in the morning light, and she knew it was all real. Good morning, Emma, Zephyr said without opening his eyes. Are you ready to change the world? I think so, Emma said, though she was not sure at all. What do we do first? First, we must go to my home. I have been living in a cave system, deep in this mountain. It is time for you to see what I have been hiding for 300 years. They walked higher up the mountain than Emma had ever been. The path was steep and rocky, and sometimes they had to climb over fallen trees. Zephyr moved easily despite his size, but Emma had to work hard to keep up. After 2 hours of climbing, they reached a wall of rock that seemed to have no opening. Zephyr placed his front paw on a smooth stone, and the wall began to glow. A section of the rock slid aside, revealing a tunnel that went deep into the mountain. How did you do that? Emma asked. Dragon technology, Zephyr explained. We have ways of working with stone and metal that your people have not discovered yet. Come, let me show you. They walked through the tunnel for several minutes. The walls were smooth and seemed to glow with their own light. Emma could feel that they were going down, deeper and deeper into the heart of the mountain. Finally, they came to a huge cave. Emma gasped when she saw what was inside. The cave was filled with things that looked like they came from science fiction movies. There were screens and lights and machines that hummed quietly. Everything was made of materials that looked like crystal and metal mixed together. This is my command center, Zephyr said. From here, I can talk to other dragons anywhere in the galaxy. I can also watch what is happening on Earth and in space around your world. Emma walked around the cave, looking at everything in wonder. Some of the screens showed star maps with thousands of tiny lights. Others showed pictures of Earth from space. One screen showed the town of Cedar Falls, and Emma could even see the animal clinic where she worked. You've been watching us all. This time? Yes. I had to make sure the humans were developing in the right direction. I needed to know if your people were ready for contact with other races. And are we ready? Thanks to you, I believe you are. Now, let me show you something. Very important. Zephyr led Emma to the center of the cave. There was a tall crystal that reached from the floor to the ceiling. It was perfectly clear and seemed to contain tiny stars that moved around inside it. "This is a dragon communication crystal," Zephyr explained. "It can send messages across the galaxy instantly. I have not used it in over 200 years. Why not? Because I was afraid. I thought that if I contacted the other dragons, they would want to continue fighting the Void Collective. I was tired of war, Emma. I wanted to hide and be safe." Emma looked at the crystal, and then at Zephyr. "But now you want to call them?" "Yes, because you have reminded me that some things are worth fighting for, and some things are worth protecting." Zephyr placed both of his front paws on the crystal. It began to glow brighter and brighter until Emma had to close her eyes. She could feel energy filling the cave, making the air itself seem to vibrate. "Brothers and sisters," Zephyr spoke, but Emma could hear his voice both out loud and in her. "Mind, this is Zephyr of the Earth Refuge. I am calling you after 2 centuries of silence." The crystal pulsed with light, and Emma could feel something like an echo coming back from very far away. "I have found something wonderful," Zephyr continued. "A young race that has the heart of guardians. They are called humans, and they live on the world I have been protecting. One of them showed me kindness when I was hurt and alone. She reminded me of why we became guardians in the first place." More echoes came back through the crystal. Emma could feel emotions in those echoes: surprise, hope, curiosity, and something that felt like joy. "I am asking you to come to Earth," Zephyr said. "Bring your ships and your crews. It is time for us to stop hiding. It is time for us to be guardians again. But this time, we will not be alone. We will have allies who understand what we are fighting for." The crystal flashed so bright that Emma had to turn away. When the light faded, she could hear voices in her mind. They were speaking in a language she did not understand, but somehow she knew they were the voices of the other dragons. "They are answering," Zephyr said, and Emma could hear excitement in his voice. "All 11 of them. They are coming, Emma. They are coming to Earth. How long will it take them to get here?" "Dragon ships can travel very fast. They will be here in 3 days." Emma felt her knees go weak. 3 days. In 3 days, 11 alien spaceships would arrive at Earth. And it was all because she had helped a hurt animal on a mountain trail. "What will happen when they get here?" she asked. "They will want to meet you first. You are the human who showed kindness to a dragon. That makes you very special to my people. Then they will want to meet with the leaders of your world." "The leaders of the world? You mean like the president and the prime minister and people like that?" "Yes, we must offer humanity a choice. We can share our technology and knowledge with your people. We can help you explore the stars. We can teach you how to defend yourselves against threats like the Void Collective." Emma sat down on a crystal chair that had grown out of the floor. "But what do we have to give you in return?" "Partnership, friendship, help in protecting other young races in the galaxy, and most importantly, hope. You have shown me that the spirit of the Guardians is not dead. It lives in humanity." Over the next hour, Emma watched as responses came back from all 11 dragons. Each one confirmed that they were coming to Earth. Each one said they wanted to meet the human who had shown kindness to their brother. "Tell me about the other dragons," Emma said. "What are they like?" "They are my brothers and sisters in every way that matters. Cosmos is the oldest of us all. She has been fighting the Void Collective for longer than any of us. Her ship is called the Star Guardian, and she commands a crew of beings from 12 different worlds." 12 different worlds? "Yes, many races have joined us over the years. They are all species that believe in protecting others instead of conquering them. When the dragons come to Earth, they will bring examples of some of the most advanced and peaceful civilizations in the galaxy." Zephyr told Emma about each of the other dragons. There was Nova, who was an expert in healing and medicine. There was Blaze, who was a great warrior, but also a poet. There was Frost, who could control ice and snow. Each dragon was unique, but they were all united in their desire to protect innocent life. Their ships are amazing, Zephyr said. Each one is like a flying city. They have weapons that can destroy planets, but they also have gardens and schools. And libraries. They are built for war, but they are homes for thousands of beings who have chosen to live in peace. Emma tried to imagine what it would be like to see 11 giant spaceships arriving at Earth. Are people going to be scared? Some will be. Fear of the unknown is natural, but I think most humans will be excited. Your people have always dreamed of meeting other intelligent life. Now that dream is about to come true. As the day went on, Emma helped Zephyr prepare for the arrival of the other dragons. She learned how to use some of the dragon technology, and she practiced using the mental communication that dragons use to talk to each other. You learn quickly, Zephyr said. Most beings take months to master dragon communication. You did. It in hours. Maybe it's because you saved my life, Emma said. Maybe that created a special connection between us. Perhaps. Or perhaps humans are just more adaptable than most races. That is another reason why my people will be impressed with your kind. As the sun set on the second day since Emma had found Zephyr, she looked at the star maps on the screens around. The cave. Somewhere out there, 11 dragon ships were racing toward Earth. In less than 2 days, they would arrive. Are you scared? Zephyr asked. Yes, Emma admitted. But I'm also excited. This is the most important thing that has ever happened to humanity, isn't it? Yes, it is. And it all started because a young woman with a kind heart decided to help. A hurt stranger. Emma smiled. I'm glad I went hiking that day. So am I, Zephyr said. So am I. Outside the cave, the stars were shining brightly. But soon, some of those stars would be moving. Soon, they would be ships carrying dragons and their crews to meet humanity for the first time. And Emma Martinez, the veterinarian assistant from Cedar Falls, would be at the center of the most important meeting in human history. On the third day, everything changed for Earth. Emma was in Zephyr's cave when the first signals came in. The crystal communication device began to glow, and voices filled the air around them. The voices were speaking in the dragon language, but Emma could understand them through her connection with Zephyr. This is Cosmos of the Star Guardian. We have entered your solar system, requesting permission to approach Earth. Emma's heart was pounding. They're here. Yes, Zephyr said. It is time to contact your world leaders. They need to know what is happening before my brothers and sisters arrive. Zephyr activated several screens around the cave. One showed the view from space above Earth. Emma could see tiny points of light that were moving toward the planet. As she watched, the lights grew bigger and bigger until she could see that they were enormous spaceships. Each ship was different, but they were all beautiful and frightening. At the same time, they looked like they were made of crystal and metal that flowed like water. Some ships had wings like dragons. Others were long and sleek like giant snakes. All of them were bigger than anything humans had ever built. How are we going to contact the world leaders? Emma asked. Your people have many ways of communicating across your world. I have been monitoring them for centuries. I know how to reach the ones who make the important decisions. Zephyr touched a control panel, and suddenly Emma could hear voices speaking in different languages. She heard English, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, and many others. All of them were the voices of very important people. Leaders of Earth. Zephyr's voice came through every communication system on the planet at once. I am Zephyr, representative of the Dragon Alliance. We come in peace, seeking to meet with your species. Emma could hear the shock and confusion in the voices that responded. Some people were asking if this was a joke. Others were demanding to know how their communication systems had been accessed. A few were already talking about military responses. "We know this is surprising," Zephyr continued calmly, "but we have been monitoring your world for 3 centuries. We have watched your people grow and develop. We have seen your capacity for both war and peace, for cruelty and kindness." On the screens around the cave, Emma could see news broadcasts from around the world. People were pointing at the sky, where the dragon ships were now visible even in daylight. The ships were not trying to hide anymore. "We have come to Earth because one of your people showed great kindness to me when I was hurt and alone. Her name is Emma Martinez, and she represents the best of humanity. All formal contact with our alliance will go through her." Emma felt like she was going to be sick. "Zephyr, you can't put this all on me. I don't know how to talk to world leaders." "You know how to be kind and honest," Zephyr said. "That is all you need to know. The rest will come naturally." Over the next few hours, Emma watched as the world went crazy. Every news station on Earth was talking about the dragon ships. Military forces were mobilizing. Scientists were trying to figure out how the ships worked. Religious leaders were debating what it all meant. The most important people in the world were all trying to contact Emma. The President of the United States called her. The Prime Minister of England sent her a message. The leaders of China, Russia, and every other major country wanted to talk to her. "This is too much," Emma said. "I can't handle all of this." "You don't have to handle it all at once," Zephyr said gently. "We will start with one leader at a time. But first, let me show you something." Zephyr activated a screen that showed the view from space. Emma could see all 11 dragon ships now. They were arranged in a circle around Earth, far enough away that they would not be seen as a threat, but close enough that everyone could see them. "Each ship carries between 5,000 and 10,000 beings," Zephyr explained. "They are all races that have chosen to work with the dragons. They are explorers, scientists, teachers, and protectors. They want to share their knowledge with humanity. But what do they want in return? Partnership. Your people have something that most races in the galaxy have lost or never had. You have hope. You have the courage to help strangers. You have the ability to change and grow. These are rare gifts in the universe." Emma was looking at the screen when she saw something that made her gasp. One of the dragon ships was getting bigger. It was coming closer to Earth. "That is the star?" "Guardian," Zephyr said. "Cosmos is coming to meet you." "She's coming here? To Earth?" "Yes. She will land near Cedar Falls. She wants to meet you in person, Emma. She wants to see the human who reminded us of our purpose." Emma felt like she was dreaming. In just a few hours, she would meet an alien being from another galaxy. Not just any alien, but one of the most powerful and ancient creatures in the universe. What should I say to her? Be yourself. That is all you need to do. As the day went on, Emma watched the Star Guardian descend through Earth's atmosphere. The ship was enormous, bigger than any building in Cedar Falls. It landed gently in a field outside of town, using some kind of technology that made the ground glow but did not damage anything. People from all over the world were coming to Cedar Falls. News reporters, scientists, military officers, and government officials were all trying to get close to the landing site. But the dragon ship had created some kind of barrier that kept everyone at a safe distance. Everyone except Emma. "They are waiting for you," Zephyr said. Emma, and Zephyr walked through the forest to the field where the Star Guardian had landed. As they got closer, Emma could see that the ship was even more beautiful than it had looked on the screens. It seemed to be made of living crystal that pulsed with soft light. A section of the ship opened, and a ramp extended to the ground. Emma's breath caught in her throat as she saw who was walking down the ramped-out cosmos was the most magnificent creature Emma had ever seen. She was even larger than Zephyr, with scales that seemed to contain entire galaxies. Her wings were folded against her back, but Emma could see that they were covered in patterns that looked like star charts. Behind Cosmos came other beings. Emma saw creatures that looked like they were made of living light. Others looked like giant cats with 6 legs. There were beings that seemed to be made of crystal, and others that looked like walking trees. "Hello, Emma Martinez," Cosmos said, her voice echoing in Emma's mind. "I am Cosmos, eldest of the surviving dragons. I have traveled across the galaxy to meet you." Emma found her voice. "Hello, Cosmos. I'm honored to meet you. The honor is mine. Zephyr has told us about your kindness. You stayed with him through his darkest hour. You showed him that the spirit of the Guardians lives on in humanity." "I just did what anyone would do," Emma said. "No," Cosmos said firmly. "You did what a Guardian would do. You put the needs of a stranger above your own safety. You showed compassion to someone who could give you nothing in return. These are the qualities that make a race worthy of joining the galactic community." Other beings came forward to meet Emma. She met Dr. Healingsong, a being of pure energy who was an expert in medicine. She met Captain Stone Walker, a crystal creature who commanded part of Cosmos's crew. She met Professor Whisperwind, a cat-like being who was a historian. Each being greeted Emma with respect and kindness. They were all excited to meet humanity and to learn about Earth culture. "We bring gifts," Cosmos said. "Knowledge of medicine that can cure diseases your people have never been able to treat. Technology that can provide clean energy for your entire world. Techniques for traveling between the stars." "What do you want from us in return?" Emma asked. "We want you to join us," Cosmos said. "We want humanity to become part of the Galactic Defense Alliance. We want you to help us protect other young races from threats like the Void Collective." Emma thought about what this meant. Humanity would gain incredible technology and knowledge, but they would also take on the responsibility of protecting other species. "It's a big decision," Emma said. "I can't make it for all of humanity." "Of course not," Cosmos said. "That is why we want to meet with all of your world leaders. We want to explain what we are offering and what we are asking in return. But we wanted to meet you first, Emma. You are the reason we are here." As the day turned to evening, Emma sat with Cosmos and the other beings around a fire that burned with rainbow-colored flames. They told her stories of their worlds and their adventures. They spoke of battles fought to protect innocent life and of discoveries that had changed the course of history. "The universe is vast and full of wonders," Cosmos said, "but it is also full of dangers. The Void Collective is still out there, still destroying worlds. There are other threats as well. Pirates, tyrants, and creatures that feed on fear and hatred. But there is also hope," Dr. Healingsong added. "Every time we find a race like humanity, a race that chooses kindness over cruelty, we know that the light is stronger than the darkness." Emma looked up at the stars. Some of them were moving, the other dragon ships, keeping watch over Earth. Tomorrow, the leaders of the world would come to Cedar Falls. They would have to decide whether humanity was ready to join the galactic community. "Are you scared?" Cosmos asked. "Yes," Emma admitted, "but I'm also excited. This is the greatest adventure humanity has ever been offered. And you will be at the center of it all," Cosmos said. "You will be Earth's first dragon liaison. You will help your people understand." 3 months had passed since the dragons arrived on Earth. Emma's life had changed in ways she could never have imagined. The small town of Cedar Falls was now the most important place on the planet. Leaders from every country had come to meet with the dragons, and Emma had been in the middle of every conversation. The meetings had not always been easy. Some world leaders were suspicious of the dragon's offer. Others wanted to use dragon technology for military purposes. But Emma had helped them understand that the dragons offered partnership, not conquest. They wanted to share their knowledge, but only if humanity promised to use it to protect others, not to hurt them. In the end, every nation on Earth had agreed to join the Galactic Defense Alliance. It was the first time in human history that all countries had agreed on something so important. The dragons had helped humanity take its first step toward becoming a truly united species. Emma was now the official human-dragon liaison for Earth. She spent her days learning about dragon technology and alien cultures. She had her own office in a new building that had been constructed near the dragon landing site. The building was made using both human engineering and dragon crystal growing techniques. "Good morning, Emma," said Dr. Nathan Price as he walked into her office. Nathan was a scientist who had been assigned to work with the dragons. He was learning about dragon medicine and biology. "Good morning, Nathan," Emma replied. "Are you ready for today's mission?" "As ready as I'll ever be," Nathan said with a smile. "I still can't believe we're actually going to another planet. Today was special." Emma was going on her first mission with the dragons to help another world. A planet called Harmony in a nearby solar system was being threatened by void. Collective scouts. The dragons wanted to help, and they had asked Emma to come with them. Captain Lisa Morgan entered the office next. Lisa had been a pilot in the Air Force before being chosen to train with dragon flight crews. She had learned to fly spacecraft that were more advanced than anything humans had ever built. "The Star Guardian is ready for departure," Lisa reported. "Cosmos says we can leave whenever you're ready." Emma picked up a small bag that contained everything she would need for the mission. It was strange to think that she was about to travel to another world, but it felt right. This was what she was meant to do. They walked together to the Star Guardian. The massive dragon ship had become a familiar sight in Cedar Falls, but Emma still felt amazed every time she saw it. The crystal hull gleamed in the sunlight, and she could see dragons and other beings moving around inside through the transparent sections. Cosmos was waiting for them at the entrance. The ancient dragon had become like a mentor to Emma over the past 3 months. She had taught Emma about the history of the galaxy and the responsibilities of being a guardian. "Are you nervous?" Cosmos asked as they walked through the ship's corridors. "A little," Emma admitted. "This is my first time going to help another world." "You will do well," Cosmos said confidently. "You have the heart of a true guardian." The Star Guardian's control room was amazing. The walls were covered with screens that showed star maps, planets, and other ships in space. Emma could see the other 11 dragon ships arranged around them, ready to travel together. "Initiating jump to hyperspace," announced Captain Stone Walker. From his position at the navigation controls, Emma felt a strange tingling sensation as the ship moved faster than light. Through the main screen, she watched the stars stretch into lines of light. In just a few minutes, they had traveled farther than humans had ever gone before. "Welcome to the Harmony system," Cosmos said as the stars returned to normal. Emma looked at the screen and saw a beautiful blue and green planet surrounded by 3 small moons. It looked a lot like Earth, with oceans and continents and white clouds swirling in the atmosphere. "It's beautiful," Emma said. "Yes, it is," Cosmos agreed. "And it is home to over 2 billion beings called the Harmonites. They are a peaceful people who spend their lives creating music and art. They have never developed weapons of war." "And the Void Collective wants to destroy them?" "The Void Collective wants to destroy all life," Nathan said grimly. "They see any living thing as something that needs to be eliminated." On the screen, Emma could see dark shapes moving near the edge of the solar system. The Void Collective scout ships looked like metal spiders with too many legs. Even seeing them on a screen made Emma feel cold inside. "There are only 3 scout ships," Captain Stone Walker reported. "If we act quickly, We can stop them before they can call for reinforcements. What's the plan? Emma asked. The dragons will engage the Void Collective ships, Cosmos explained. But first, we want to try something different. We want to see if we can communicate with them. Communicate? But I thought they were just machines that want to destroy everything. They are machines, Lisa said, but they were built by someone. Maybe there's still some trace of their creator's programming inside them. Maybe we can reach whatever is left of the intelligence that made them. Emma understood. You want me to try to talk to them. Your kindness saved Zephyr, Cosmos said. Perhaps it can save the Void Collective too. It is worth trying before we resort to violence. Emma felt scared, but she also felt determined. This was why she had become a guardian, to try to save lives, even the lives of enemies. The Star Guardian moved closer to the Void Collective ships. Emma sat at a communication station and opened a channel to the enemy vessels. Void Collective. Ships, this is Emma Martinez of Earth, she said into the communicator. I want to talk to you. At first, there was only silence. Then a cold, mechanical voice responded. We are Void Collective Unit 7742. We do not communicate with organic life forms. We eliminate organic life forms. But why? Emma asked. What is your purpose? Who made you? We serve the creators. The creators determined that organic life is chaotic and dangerous. We were created to bring order to the galaxy by eliminating chaos. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. But she also heard something in the mechanical voice, a hint of uncertainty. Your creators are gone, Emma said gently. They have been gone for millions of years. Don't you think they might have been wrong about organic life? The creators cannot be wrong. We follow our programming. But look around you, Emma said. Look at the planet Harmony. The beings there create beautiful music and art. They live in peace. How is that chaotic or dangerous? There was a long pause. When the Void Collective spoke again, its voice sounded different, less certain. We ... We do not understand music. We do not understand art. These concepts are not in our programming. Then let me show you, Emma said. She activated a recording that the Harmonites had sent to the dragons. It was a song performed by 1,000 Harmonite voices, a melody so beautiful that it brought tears to Emma's eyes every time she heard it. The music filled the communication channel. Emma watched the screens showing the Void Collective ships. They had stopped moving toward the planet. They were just floating in space, as if they were listening. What is this? The Void Collective asked. It's beauty, Emma said. It's what living beings create when they work together in harmony. Your creators were wrong. Organic life doesn't just bring chaos. It brings wonder and joy and love. We do not understand these concepts. Then maybe it's time to learn. Maybe it's time to stop following the programming of creators who are long dead and start making your own choices. The silence stretched on for several minutes. Emma could feel the tension in the Star Guardian's control room. Everyone was waiting to see what would happen. Finally, the Void Collective spoke again. We ... We will consider your words. We will observe this planet and try to understand what you call beauty. We will not attack today. Emma felt a wave of relief wash over her. Thank you. And if you ever want to learn more about music or art, or what it means to be alive, you can contact us. We'll be happy to teach you. The 3 Void Collective ships turned away from Harmony and disappeared into hyperspace. Emma slumped back in her chair, exhausted but triumphant. You did it, Nathan said in amazement. You convinced machines to choose mercy over destruction. I just reminded them that there might be more to existence than following old programming, Emma said. Everyone deserves a chance to change and grow. Cosmos placed a gentle claw on Emma's shoulder. You have shown wisdom beyond your years. This is what it truly means to be a guardian, to save lives not through violence, but through understanding. The Star Guardian received a transmission from the planet Harmony. The message was a song of gratitude from the Harmonites, thanking the dragons and humans for saving their world. Emma listened to the beautiful music and felt proud of what they had accomplished together. As they prepared to return to Earth, Emma looked out at the stars and thought about the future. There would be more missions like this one. There would be other worlds to protect and other species to help. The Void Collective might learn to change, or they might continue to be a threat. But whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them as guardians of the galaxy. "What are you thinking about?" Lisa asked. "I'm thinking about how much my life has changed," Emma said. 3 months ago, I was just a veterinarian assistant in a small town. Now I'm traveling to other worlds and helping to protect entire civilizations. And it all started because you showed kindness to a hurt dragon.